Grand Rising, everyone, and happy Sabbath. Welcome to the home of Black Titanic. Well, today is the last chapter in the book. Today, Malinda and Ernest will be perishing because they gonna finally hit that iceberg. So what we're going to do, we're going to get started right away. This class is going to be a little longer. I'm going to tell the story twice. One story, right? One story going to be like a little slide, and the other story going to be read for the book. But anyway, let me just say a shout out to everybody. Grand Rising, y'all. Grand Rising. And let me get let me get this banner up, y'all. Hello, Pinky, my co-host, always dependable. Anyway, so in potential was Grand Rising to you too. Grand Rising, everyone. Grand Rising. Okay, it's 11:01 in my neck of the wood. What time of it is it in your neck of the wood? Oh, okay, you guys. So today I'm honoring our ancestors, you guys. This is just time to do it. I'm honoring our ancestors. So many perished during that slave trade, you guys. Y'all know how many of our ancestors that perished under the slave trade, particularly the Ibu tribe. The Ibu tribe said that they rather perish than to be held captive. They were brave. They would not be captured at all. And word went out. Do not, when you go to Nigeria, do not go to the Ibu tribe. They are too difficult. Now, the Ibu tribe of Nigeria were brave, y'all. They jumped overboard. So, and they also have a museum here in Georgia, y'all. Ibu land, and they have a new, and we need to start patronizing that museum. We need to start honoring all our ancestors that's been buried in the transatlantic ocean. So many of them. We can't forget this, you guys. This is so important. We have to teach it to our children, pass the word out, and they were not, I'm going to say this, they were not slaves. Dr. Small said, how do we allow people to define who we are? We never been slaves. They went over there and captured some free people. These people were free. They were mathematicians. They created the world, gave the world science. They gave the world everything that we needed today to survive. Africa did. They say civilization started from Africa. They were not slaves. They were prisoners of war. Everybody else get to call themselves prisoners, but our people is referred to as this dehumanizing such thing as slavery. But so many died under that water. So many jumped overboard. The bravery of the Igbo tribe from Nigeria, no, they said, no, not me. I would rather die. You hear me? I would rather die than to be a slave. And so they united. Women's, older ones, young women's, children, men's, they all jumped. They were brave. Shout out to the bravery. And now we go on into my auntie Malinda, buried right down in the Atlantic Ocean, right with them, y'all. But this was in 1912, had a different situation. Here it was in 1912. She was traveling as a free woman, you guys, as a free woman. She boarded the Titanic with Miss Elizabeth. She was her nurse. She was a healer for everybody on the Titanic. But she and her fiance met their fate on that Titanic. So we have black people on the Titanic too that was buried in the Atlantic Ocean that never got any credit. My auntie was not listed as a passenger, you guys. But the elders tell the story. You know the elders, they tell the story. They know the story. Our history always come back to tell us. You won't tell it. We have to tell our own story. That's why I have to tell the story about the Titanic and the blacks that was on board the Titanic, y'all. Okay, you want to say there's no listing of Aunt Linda on the Titanic, but there is listed of black children and one black man who was Joseph LaRue and his black kids. They were on there. So y'all need to put that mess, saying that mess that blacks was not aboard the Titanic, because those black children, that black man and his white wife, they were documented aboard the Titanic. And another shout out to honoring our ancestors. Not too long ago in 1912 when the Titanic sank, it's called Lake Lanier now. The whole town of Oscarville, the black town, was submerged underwater, and a man-made lake was made out of it. I'm honoring my ancestors that perished under these water. All through the United States, lakes everywhere, man-made lakes with our ancestors submerged under there. Whole cities just underground, the buses, the schools, the houses, the churches, everything submerged underwater in this man-made lake. The graveyards too, y'all. Yeah, we got to start honoring our ancestors. We can't forget. Never forget your ancestors who perished underneath this water. Happy Sabbath, everyone. Happy Sabbath. I'm moving on along now because we got 2 slides this morning. And you guys going to be introduced to Oya. Y'all don't know what the ancestors say is that Oya, the wind, y'all. They said that wind is a black woman. Oya, these are just deities and ancient black storytales. Our ancestors always believed that the black woman was the wind, the lightning, the storm, that she was the wind goddess, the black woman, y'all. Yes, yeah, she's your protector over the cemetery as well. She gives you your last breath. Yeah, the wind goddess. That's who you are. I thought that was so fascinating. It's fascinating, the name Oya, a black woman. When the wind and the storm come and all these things, they said, this is a black woman. This is the strength of a black woman that's doing this. I was talking to Pinky yesterday. She said, it's getting ready to have bad weather down here. It might be some snow, some sleet, some rain, some something, but all she knew that the clouds was black. And that's who we call Oya. Oya. So our ancestors on the Titanic, they always was worshiping their deities on the Titanic, like the wind goddess, and then they'll call on Ogun, the warrior. So this is who all we're going to be meeting today. Okay, here we go, you guys. Love y'all. Hope y'all enjoy. Thank y'all for everything that y'all do for me. Just thank y'all, really. Thank y'all for being here. Thank you for the cash app, uh, the stickers, everything. New members, old members, everything. We're gonna go with the disappearance of Malinda. Oh, I gotta get her off of here. Oh yeah, bye, oh yeah. This is the disappearance of Malinda. We never did find Aunt Linda, y'all. My grandfather grieved himself to death. He grieved himself to death over his sister. The disappearance of Malinda still remains an unsolved history. It's a cold case file. Oral history, as told by the elders, is that she was an unlisted passenger aboard the Titanic. She was traveling as a personal caregiver with a European contractor. April 1912, the Titanic hit an iceberg. I thought about jumping overboard, says Malinda. Hey, Sun Kids, welcome. I was too scared. Then I thought about sliding down the ropes. Welcome, Town Renee. God, they were shooting and all black faces in sight, nor will they give us life jacket. Then the water forced me into the sea. I swam towards European lifeboat, but they pushed me away. Then a big, large wave grabbed me, and it forced me. It twisted me around like I was dancing. Of course, my ancestors continued to search. They used dancing to tell the stories. They told it through folklore. They told it through history. They danced and they danced. And they continued to search and search for me. But I remained lost at sea forever. But you know what? Our ancestors always come back to tell you can't keep our history hidden from us. So now we're at the ending of the chapter. Malinda and all of her friends, Ellen and Mom Annie and Ernest and David and all of the other Africans aboard is trying to survive. But they're being blocked. They're being blocked. Remember, I said this is not about nothing but first class. The poor whites and the blacks have to survive on their own because only person that they are worried about is first class. It's about class now on this boat. Meanwhile, the immigrants panicked. Some lost touch with reality. Some of the images jumped into the freezing water. What's more, a feeling of uneasiness came over Malinda. As she remembered, she started reminiscing about what her brother Alexander said. I'm on page 164, please. She was reminiscing. She started feeling uneasy. She started remembering what Alexander dreamt, that she would be lost at sea forever. Oh, Grandpa used to say that. He used to sit me down and just say, why didn't my sister listen to me? I was just a little bitty girl, y'all. Anyway, Mary and her son, her mom, she was thinking about her sister Mary, her mom Sarah, her dad John Boyd. She thought about her brother Jeff, which brought tears to her eyes. She latches on to her fiance Ernest and told him she loved him. Oh, how I love you, baby. I love you, said Malinda. Oh, I love you more, girl. I love you more. Then he looked at his wrist watch. Yes. So at the same time, they started hearing pow-powing. They saw people screaming and pushing each other. They saw clear men shooting at the Africans in the ocean, interacting with the spirit. I don't know. This, am I hallucinating? Is this real? Is these my ancestors really here? Malinda is thinking. But whatever the case, interacting with the spirit, they saw 3 oil lamps glowing in mid-air. It airborne towards them. They could see that it looked like an image of Niger. Oh, Niger. Y'all remember Niger was uh, deleted aboard that ship. They saw Niger. He had no feet or legs, but his hand stretches out. Oh, his hand stretches out as they take a lamp from him. Learning they fate from Niger, he parted the sea. He made a narrow path. He smiles, then he disappears. Niger, Niger. Oh, come back, Niger, come back. 165. The ancestors are here. The spirit is here. Yes. So Niger disappeared. Niger gave us a glowing lamp. Then all the crowd, all the immigrants, they started rushing towards us. They were grabbing at the lamp. They pushed them backwards and towards a locked gate. They pushed and they pushed. Everybody was panicking, y'all. Crowded down there. They were prevented. Everything was locked. They were prevented from getting on the upper decks, y'all. They pushed backwards and forwards to a locked gate. On the other side, it was a deadbolt lock. It was a block. And then after Malinda, she had pressed her face against the gate. Malinda, get away from the gate. Get away from the gate. Malinda saw a dozen of dead black firefighters. In desperation, the screaming crowd began to kick the gate down, which many immigrants couldn't speak English. But all accounts, they looked fearful. Oh, was everybody scared? We were scared down there. They were stepping all on us. Then they stepped on Ellen's feet so much until they broke her right toe. There was a big panic down there. They broke Ellen's big toe. She was able to maneuver herself, though, to the back of the crowd. Come on, Ellen, you can make it, Earnest said. Come on, sis. Come on, sis, you can make it to the back of the crowd. But where's Malinda? Oh, then she saw Earnest. He was looking for them. With a strong tone, he said, David is waiting for us to load the boats. He added, where is my wife, Malinda? You hear me, girl? Quick, David is waiting for us to load the boat. He added, where is my wife? Now remember, the Africans aboard had, they had to survive. So they had made their own boats and stole some as well. She's been forced by the crowd and against the gate. I told her to move back from the gate. I told her, brother, I told her. She's been forced by the crowd. She just smashed in about the gate. Ella added, come, let's rescue her. You were going into Earnest murder, page 165. Trying to rescue Malinda through the panicking crowd. It meant that they were forced her to go through the other exits, which all was barred everywhere they went. It was locked. I gotta get to Malinda. I gotta get to my wife. Lord, I gotta get to my wife. trapped. Oh my God, we're trapped, brother, we're trapped, Ellen said. Page 165 at the bottom. Bruh, we're trapped down here. We're trapped, Ellen said as she began to freak out. Oh, we're trapped, we're trapped, we're trapped out there. Ellen is freaking out. This made Ernest more desperate to get to Malinda. He knew that some of the armed guardsmen would block the third-class passenger and delete them. He knew that the guardsmen would never allow the third-class passenger taking those lifeboat from the wealthy. At this point, Ellen could barely walk. So her brother Ernest gave her a piggyback ride. And while they were searching for Malinda, they saw many trapped immigrants, children, animals as well. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on, hold on. Ernest, let me down. Let me down. Ellen yelled as she spots the pit bull Oreo who saved his life earlier. Oh, yes. So Ernest had a history with Oreo. Oreo saved his life earlier when they had locked Ernest in a room. And so Oreo led some of the Africans to the door where they had locked Ernest up. So, yes, they have a history. Let me down, Ellen yells as she spots the pit bull Oreo who saved his life earlier. He was soaking wet and swimming through water. Ellen lifted him. She thought the dog must belong to a third-class passenger because the wealthy passenger animals would be allowing to enter the lifeboat. What's more, the dog was shaking and holding on to us. Ellen's arms. He was just holding on to Ellen's arm. Into the water, she drops the dog. Underwater, she could feel him tugging on her pants leg. So they decided to follow her. Nearby, Oreo led them to several locked kennels. So Ernest and Ellen freed the other dogs. They happily swam away. So they had animals aboard the Titanic too, y'all. I'm tell y'all something. Okay, you guys, I have to go to part 2. I'm on the bottom of page 167. Yeah. Part 2. Together, David and his men work with intensity to save Black victims, but the wreckage from the Titanic, as well as from the sea, was coming against them. Oh, that water was high. It was high, y'all. It was up to the neck. They began tossing debris to the side. They were working hard. Debris was floating everywhere, adding to the chaos and the panic. Oh, God. Oh, God. David saw a brother floating near him. Looks like he'd been beaten to death. Lord, one of his eyes was open, and the other one was protruding out of the socket. Man, this brother had been beat to death. The last thing he saw in his iris, I could see through his iris. David told. I could see in his iris that the last thing he did was saw his murderer killing him, stabbing him to death. Yes, deep down in his retina, David was looking. He had a vision. He saw the image of the clear man stabbing his brother. He saw that image. It could be seen inside the brother's retina. David held the man head up. Just then we could hear bullets hitting the water. The Titanic was tilting and bullets. You could hear bullets hitting the water while the Titanic was tilting. The clear crew was shooting a fire at the black people inside the sea. You hear me, y'all? Some of my brothers was taking covers by pulling any type of wreckage they could to hide behind it. Yeah, that's what I saw. David said he saw it. I said I saw it from afar. Those clear people still shooting, still trying to hurt us in the midst of a disaster. Meanwhile, aboard the Titanic, the remaining of the blacks were screaming as David and his crew shoved them inside of the boat. Quit panicking. Come on, y'all. Jump overboard. Come on. You gotta swim to the rubber raft. You can make it. Come on now, y'all. Come on. The women's were screaming. They were scared. Now the colonizers were shooting at black people. And David, he had to delete some of them to save his people. Get ready, y'all. Get prepared. And ready to go and delete those shooters. We got to find those shooters and delete them. David said as he beckoned his most skillful warriors, Nkosi, Turbo, Cozy, and Hunter. During the hunt, he instructed them to ride the waterways instead of fighting against it. Ride them waterways, don't fight against it. Yeah, because by now, the boat is tilted and that water is up to my eyeballs. So now, during the hunt, he instructed them to ride the waterways instead of fighting against it. In the hands, Cozy had a sword in his hand. Hunter had an axe across his shoulder. He had an axe and an archery set. They were ready. This was amongst one thing he had in common with Earnest. Both of them were skilled archery. That bow and arrow. You couldn't beat them with that bow and arrow. They may not have no guns, but I got an axe. I got a hammer. I got an archery set. We got something to fight with down here. Without a doubt. They took notes of the environment, observing 4 clear shooters. They still were engaging at shooting. Each shooter had a bottle of liquor in their hands, sipping on it. They found humor in killing animals as they floated by. They laughed and shot at black people, which was yelling for help. Oh, help us. They were having, black people was yelling, black, white, all ethnic by now was in the sea. Some of them had jumped overboard. The Titanic was still dead. And some of us were still on board. But them fools up there were shooting at everything, including animals. They laughed and laughed. As David and his warrior moves patiently through the waters, they adapted a rhythm to attack them. They used the opponent loudness and drunkenness. They used that aggressive behavior to their advantage. Follow their voices. During this time, David released airborne arrows hidden one opponent in a gun hand. Go ahead on David. See, David is an expert. He drops the gun while the arrow penetrates through the wrist bones and break it. At the same time, Hunter released his decorative axe. He had a fighting technique based on slashing. As the colorful axe airborne, it hits its opponent in the back of the head. All praises go to Ogun. All praises go to my ancestor, Ogun, the god of war. Ogun, the god of iron and steel and all sharp objects. All praises go to Ogun. Thank you for slaying my enemies. Hunter shouted on page 189. Without a doubt, Cozy had his sword already drawn. He moves swiftly. He moves like a cat, quietly towards the colonizers. He slices one of his arms completely off, then used the back of his blade to beat him, just as he did his brother. An eye for an eye, Cozy yelled, as he uses the flat of the blade to beat his enemy in the middle of the forehead. He knew this was the same colonizer that had tortured his friends by beating his eyes out of his socket. Y'all remember that? He saw him with his eyes hanging all out of his socket. An eye for an eye. Okay. And Cozy made sure his destination was the sun. The ship was cramped. The cramped shipboard, as well as the rising water, made it difficult to fight. So David released his arrows with great speed, killing the enemy. Nonetheless, the condition of David's brothers and sisters were on his mind. They swim back in place and to assist with evacuation. They was up there fighting, man. They up there shooting, trying to get them women boarded on the darn route. And they up here shooting at us. Oh, David and Hunter now, they done took them down. Now you got to go back to the boat and help out. And took them down. They took them enemies down. Thanks for having my back, brothers, David said to his friend. We are tribal brothers, regardless of the geographical area, says Hunter. The DNA strain can be traced back to our families living on the African continent and throughout the world. In this case, we are one. We should unify as such. We need to understand that our survival depends on it. Hollywood stereotypes, as well as the educational system, has taught that black skin is inferior, or that we are uncivilized. Blacks across the world suffer from colonization. Many blacks look at themselves based on what our oppressor has taught us. Our identity is based on the colonizer's stereotypes, and we fail to unify as a group of people. Unify as a group of people with common goals, having the same common enemy. It's rare to find Africans, Asian, blacks, Aboriginal from Ireland, Australia. It's rare to find us African people of African ancestors globally to forge a relationship. Anyway, let's go on down, skipping on down to one, down to the bottom of 1-7 aboard the Titanic now. The blacks, original unified for strength and survival. Strength and survival. We had to unify, you hear me? They knew it was imperative to unify as one. And though no matter the geographical area, the colonizer was the same and out to destroy us. It seems that Earnest and Malinda and the other blacks aboard the Titanic thought of themselves as proud and educated and fearless people. They all had this in common, as well as having each other back. They were proud black people. Despite the discrimination aboard the Titanic, power, skillful talents, and determination were shared among them. They knew to be totally free from traps set up by the white staff and passengers, they must work as a team. And David made sure all his tribal families were loaded on their own boats. He and his warrior, they jumped into the freezing water. They swam to a rubber raft. They waited. They waited. No, don't pull off. We can't pull off, brothers. Remember now, the drummers. Oh, those drummers had to communicate. The Africans invented the drums, the wireless connection. The first wireless connection came from our ancestors, which was the drums. They had picked up communication from nearby tribes surrounding the area. So they knew that they were on their way to help. But David said, we gotta wait for Earnest and Malinda. And my sister Ellen, I don't see them. Where are my home girl? Oh God, I cannot go without my homegirl, Malinda. David was thinking. I'm gonna wait. On page 171. In the meantime, the ship was sladding as Ellen and Ernest freed birds and cats and a few roosters. Yeah, them animals was trapped too. They had to be free thanks to Oreo. Oreo led them to where all the animals was. Yes, cats and dogs and rooster. They were crowing louder, those rooster was. Suddenly, Ellen points to the bird, which flew into an open and narrow exit. It had an unlocked door on it. As they walked inside, they found many stewards and other stuff hiding in there. They found the safe apartment that the water was not at least up to your neck yet. And all these clear people in here hide. Despite the danger, everybody faces the colonizer didn't turn off their bigotry. They didn't turn it off despite the danger. You people are banned from coming inside here, shouts Asterius. You're banned. Get the hell out of here. For a moment, Ernest and Ellen stay silent as they assess the environment. They saw Miss Elizabeth. Now, Miss Elizabeth, they came on the boat with Miss Elizabeth, Malinda, and David. Miss Elizabeth now ain't thinking about them. After all, y'all know Miss Elizabeth, she act like she didn't even know them. Thanks for the super sticker. Love you, Black
She is
Titanic.
lurking in the
Thank you.
background. She acts as though she had never seen them before. Once more, Ernest instructed Sister Ellen to jump down off the boat. Jump! Ernest instructed his sister Ellen to jump down off the boat and hand him his archery. Hand me my archery set, girl. You can.
Okay, you guys, I think that's the ending of that. Let me take it down. Happy Sabbath, everyone. Happy Sabbath. Today we are remembering the Igbo tribe. Igbo. Y'all know my children's dad is an Igbo. He's an Igbo. He's from Nigeria, but anyway, he said I don't never pronounce it right, but the Igbo tribe was brave, as we could see. They never did want to be held captive as slaves. So what did they do? They deliberately jumped overboard as a unit. They said they'd rather die than to be slaves. I'm keeping it moving, y'all. This is Black Titanic Book Club. This is the last chapter in the book. Now this just gonna be the ending of it. I'm just gonna run through it. There are no pages. I'm just gonna summarize what happened at the end. Now this is the last chapter, y'all. If y'all want to, we can have a little fun with it. If we go into the Thug's Passion book, that's gonna be fun because we will be talking about the Narcissus men such as Martel. Yeah, that's just a book, a relationship book. If y'all want to do it, fine with me. I got like about 10 books left called The Thug's Passion. If y'all interested, I will reorder some from my printer. I'm independent. So what I do, I just write, send it to the printer. He prints, send it back, and I pay for it. So that's how I go. All right, y'all, let me keep it going. Right now, Malinda and Earnest has died aboard the Titanic. This is what's going on. This is a letter that my grandfather used to read to me day and night, right? This is about that letter. Oh boy. Here we go. This is a letter that my grandfather used to read to me about the survivor. Her name was Ellen. She survived, the girl, the half white girl, the mixed girl survived, y'all. So, and she is the one that came back and told my grandfather what happened aboard the Titanic. Let's see if this is it. Story, you guys. Anyway, this is the mystery disappearing of Malinda. Yes. At the ending of this chapter is when Malinda and Ernest is murdered. I think this is the same one, y'all. This is the last chapter in this book on Black Titanic African aboard. This is the unsolved disappearance of Malinda Boyd. The disappearance of Linda still remains an unsolved mystery. Over 100 years ago, oral history has been told by the elder. Is that Malinda Borden was an unlisted passenger above the Titanic. She was traveling as a personal caregiver and with an independent European contractor. Of course, we must listen to the elders. Just listening to the elders lets you take a journey through their minds. And it's like walking through a library because They have access to his knowledge because they have old untold stories. This is Black Titanic. Hit that like button, share, and subscribe. That man, girl. Malinda Boyd Perry's book is only, but based on the true story. Malinda Boyd was a nurse, and her future sister-in-law, Ellen Jones, described the sinking ship. So I'm going to tell y'all about the character. By the way, this is taken out of the book Black Titanic. Right here, Ellen Jones. She was her future sister-in-law because Malinda was engaged to her brother Earnest. But Ellen Jones could pass for she was white. She could pass for white because she was taken advantage of by the colonizer with her African American mother, a Negro mother. Her Negro mother. We're using the term Negro in here. Y'all, this is 1912, y'all. So, anyhow, let's get on with the letters. So you got Ernest, you got Malinda, and Alexander is my grandfather. So, and that's Melinda's brother. Letter to Melinda brother Alexander Boyden from Ellen Jones, who was the Negro lookout person because she could pass for white. In other words, they were sending her on a book on the first, second class area to spy to see what was going on because the Negroes was in the bowels of the Titanic. You guys probably never heard of the bowels of the Titanic, but that's just like the basement. It was hot down there. That's where all the boilers and heater was. That's where all the hard labors was. They call them the Black Gang because they used to take the coals and have to throw them in the boilers down there, those big boilers the coal that they use for fuels. But before I go on with the letter, let me tell you how they ended up there. The Negroes ended up in the bowels of the Titanic, and they were called the Black Gang because it was a coal strike. And during the coal strike, none of the white laborers would go to work. So black men went to work and took their place. So that's how a lot of them got on the Titanic. They'll tell you that, blacks weren't allowed, but it was during that coal strike. And they would have lost a hell of a lot of money if they couldn't go or sell. So that's what happened. That's how a lot of blacks got on there. But anyway, let's start with the letter. As the boat began to sink and water filled the lower decks, only the white immigrants and poor white Americans was allowed to leave. Malinda pushes me through the screaming crowd. This is Ellen, y'all. Malinda pushes me through the screaming crowd, but I held back. I wanted to die with dignity as a Negro, an African, with my brother and friends. Malinda and the other Negro friends begged me to leave, yelling, "Who would tell our story as well as notify our families?" Now, the water was up to my waist, and while my Negro friends and I was trying to leave the bottom deck, the gate was locked, and in desperation, the males began to kick the gate down. Suddenly, the gate opened, and the white crew members began to shoot any white. She's in labor. Malinda was screaming with grief. She was in shock. And as we entered the top deck, the white female was in labor. Malinda didn't hold her tongue. "You're the same people that killed my friends and the love of my life, and you mean you want me to deliver your white baby? You mean you want me to save your white life?" I heard the gun click, says Ellen. I yelled, "I'll help Malinda deliver your baby." But you can't stand over us with a gun to her head. You must leave the room. I yelled. I want my nurse to go with me. So right now, Ellen is using her white privilege, and she's telling this man that, Malinda works for her, because he thinks she's a white lady. I heard the gun clicked. I yelled, I'll help Malinda deliver your baby, but you can't stand over us with a gun in our head. You must leave the room. I yelled, I want my nurse to go with me. Meanwhile, water was rushing fast on the upper deck, and you can hear the minigun shooting, as well as smell death in the air. The man left the room, and Malinda never touched a woman in labor. Instead, she wrote a letter for Alex and wrapped it inside plastic and stuck it down my bra. As the boat sank, water separated us. The pregnant white woman was washed away, as well as Malinda. I was washed overboard. I saw some wreckage that I could cling to. So many black people was in the ocean, and so many Negroes was tossed alive and overboard. Many hours went by. Some Negroes were still swimming, but the rescue boats would just pass them by and pick up whites only. Then Negroes began to do for self, trying to get into the overloaded boats, but whites would kick them away. One white man kicked it, a male Negro. He grabbed the white man's leg and he flipped everybody in the lifeboat in the ocean. They drowned, except for the Negro. Hours passed. Oh man, I was freezing. I was freezing at near death, y'all. I was freezing at near death, watching corpses floating by, whites, blacks, children as well. I thought I was hallucinating when a big, strong black man grabbed me. A strong black man grabbed me. He pulled me on a homemade boat with all Negroes on it. Ellen, he called, where is Malinda and your brother? This is taken from the book, The Black Titanic, and Malinda was engaged to Ellen's brother. Okay, a big fat white crew member grabbed Malinda's arm and said, you have to go take care of my wife. She's in labor. Malinda was screaming with grief. She was in shock. And as we entered the top deck, the white female was in labor. Malinda didn't hold her tongue. You're the same people that killed my friends and the love of my life, and you mean you want me to deliver your wife's baby? You mean you want me to save your wife's life? I heard the gun click, says Ellen. I yelled, I'll help Malinda deliver your baby, but you can't stand over us with a gun to her head. You must leave the room. I yelled, I want my nurse to go with me. So right now, Ellen is using her white privilege, and she's telling this man that, Malinda works for her, because he thinks she's a white lady. I heard the gun clicked. I yelled, I'll help Malinda deliver your baby, but you can't stand over us with a gun in our head. You must leave the room. I yelled, I want my nurse to go with me. Meanwhile, water was rushing fast on the upper deck, and you can hear the minigun shooting, as well as smell death in the air. The man left the room, and Malinda never touched a woman in labor. Instead, she wrote a letter for Alex and wrapped it inside plastic and stuck it down my brow. As the boat sank, water separated us. The pregnant white woman was washed away, as well as Malinda. I was washed overboard. I saw some wreckage that I could cling to. So many black people was in the ocean, and so many Negroes was tossed alive and overboard. Many hours went by. Some Negroes were still swimming, but the rescue boats would just pass them by and pick up whites only. Then Negroes began to do for self, trying to get into the overloaded boats, but whites would kick them away. One white man kicked it, a male Negro. He grabbed the white man's leg and he flipped everybody in the lifeboat in the ocean. They drowned, except for the Negro. Hours passed. Oh man, I was freezing. I was freezing at near death, y'all. I was freezing at near death, watching corpses floating by, whites, blacks, children as well. I thought I was hallucinating when a big, strong black man grabbed me. A strong black man grabbed me. He pulled me on a homemade boat with all Negroes on it. Ellen, he called, where is Malinda and your brother? This is taken from the book, The Black Titanic, and Malinda was engaged to Ellen's brother. Okay, y'all, this section right here this is a book that I found maybe 11 years later after trying to research to find any book that would explain whether black people was on the Titanic besides me talking about it. But anyway, I found this book finally. This is from the first-hand account. This is the first book that came out after the Titanic sank in 1912, and I have never seen it before. You will never see this again in any other writings about what happened on the Titanic with the blacks that worked on the Titanic. Now, I'm going to talk about the wireless operator. I'm going to talk about the COD messages. And the reason I brought this in because tied to the Titanic was Glenn Bear Woods. He was a black inventor, over 60 patents. In fact, Thomas Edison, he had to sue Thomas Edison because Thomas Edison was trying to steal and claim his stuff. All the white people were trying to claim his stuff, but he held fast. He was bold. He won all his lawsuits. But anyway, the Titanic was using his wireless operator. He was responsible for the first wireless communication from boats, airplanes, trains, you name it, Glenn Bear Wood. Anyhow, let me just read this. This was the story told by the bystander afterwards on the pier. One husky Italian told the writer on the pier that the way in which the men who were shot down was horrible. His sympathy was with the men who were shot. They were only trying to save their lives, he said. Wireless operator died at his post. On board the Titanic, the wireless operator with a life belt about his waist was hitting the instrument that was sending out CQD messages warning. Struck on iceberg, said this was the warning message, CQD. Shall I tell the captain to turn back and help? Flashed a reply from the Carpathia, the other book, another boat. Yes, old man. The Titanic wireless operator responded. Guess we'll An hour later, when the second wireless man came into the box-like room to tell his companion what the situation was, he found a Negro stoker. Say it again. He found a Negro stoker. Now, aboard the Titanic, another name for stoker is a fireman. They worked the bows of the Titanic. Y'all probably have never heard of the bows of the Titanic. Let's just say it's the basement. But that was that's how the Negro stokers got on there. They had them on as firemen. It was a cold strike in 1912, and all the white laborers refused to go to work. They had built this exclusive, expensive ship, and they were not going to lose no money. So this is how all these black people got on the Titanic, because it was a cold strike. It was a strike, and they started hiring black people aboard the Titanic. So these Negro stokers, they worked in the bows of the Titanic, and they were shoveling coals into the big boiler. That's what they were doing. It was hot down there, and it was very hot. They were later named as the Black Gang. Also, you did have a few white Irishmen down there, but I was told they couldn't take the heat like the black men, so they couldn't stand it down there. But let me get on talking. He found a Negro stoker creeping up behind the operator, and he saw him raise a knife over his head. He said afterwards he was among those rescued, that he realized at once that the Negro intended to kill the operator in order to take his life belt from him. Now y'all know that this man wanted a life belt. He was not trying to steal no life belt. And why would he have a... I pulled out of my driveway, was going to try to block him, but he was going all around it. Looking at. But anyway, let's keep on going. Let me read this over. The Negro intended to kill the operator in order to take the life belt from him. So they had refused to give the blacks aboard the Titanic life belt. The second operator pulled out his revolver and shot the Negro dead. And you know what? It's just something how this is so similar to what my grandfather was telling me. Moving on along, so the Negro was shot dead. What was the trouble? Asked the operator. That Negro was going to kill you and steal your life belt. The second man replied, you know what, this pissing me off. You know what, the nerve of them thinking that they would kill this man because this man wanted a life jacket, and they really felt like they were in the right for killing him. Thanks, old man, said the operator. The second man went on deck to get some more information. He was just in time to jump overboard before the Titanic went down. The wireless operator and the body of the Negro who tried to steal his belt went down together. So that's how they gonna say he went down as a thief for asking for a lifeboat. To the home of the Black Titanic after Obama ordered the assassination of the... All right, let me get up on the stage. Anyway, and that's how it ended. They had panic. Malinda had panic. She was smashed in up against that gate. Ellen went to try to find Ernest. She finally found him, and when by the time Ernest got to the gate, all the guards was there. They just started shooting, and Ernest got one right in the middle of the forehead, right in front of Malinda. Right, Malinda ended up screaming and being traumatized while this clear man come pulling on her with no sympathy because his wife went in premature labor. Anyway, Malinda Nova did deliver the baby. She was washed overboard and never was found again. And Ellen was the one that lived to tell the story. Anyway, that's the ending of it. Ernest was murdered aboard the Titanic. But y'all, I searched around for years to try to find something to collaborate my grandfather's story, because every time I tried to go to I forgot what you called it, the organization of the Titanic, they were shunning me, y'all, because I was black. Yeah, they treated me like a stepchild. This black girl told us her auntie was on the Titanic. Ooh, they worried me. They dogged me out. But anyway, y'all, so I decided to just tell my own story. I don't have no proof. These are just stories back in Bessemer with my grandparents was telling me that my auntie died aboard the Titanic, you guys. Anyway, let me just say hi to everybody out here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank y'all for coming. Pinky, the housewife, letter from Grandpa. Yeah, that letter he drilled in my head. I mean, he just talked about that letter. Do any of y'all need to start, y'all got history in y'all families. And I'm here to tell y'all to ask questions now to the elders in your family. There's so much I wish I would have asked my mother, you guys, or the elders in my family. Now, they were born all my elders were born like in the 1800s. So they had so much of whatever was going on in the 18 and 1700s they had so much knowledge of, but I never did ask questions. As a little young girl, you don't think about that. Pinky, the housewife, and everybody that came in. Y'all, that's all I got to offer today. Thank you, Pinky, for coming in. Yeah, all right, okay. Pinky gave me a $10 super sticker. Shirley Terry came in. Thank y'all. I think at one point, I think Emma Tencher was here. Sun Kiss was here. Who else y'all that I remember was here? Most of y'all. Pinky the housewife. Thank you, Pinky. You want to come up, Pinky? Let me throw the link to you for a minute, Pinky, so you can talk to me. In town, Renee. Oh, my Sun Kiss is here. I just love Sun Kiss. All right, let me throw this to you. All right. You guys, I may go to Huntsville next week if everything turned out okay for me. If I get everything, the package that I'm supposed to be getting from another content creator, they all pitched in and supposed to be sending me to Atlanta. If I get the package, I'm going. If I don't get the package, that means that there was someone that had at least gave me something towards the trip. I'll return it back if I return it your money back if I don't go. But as of right now, I think I'm going because they said that they were going. The content creator said they had took up money from me and got a ticket for me to go to Huntsville. So when I get it, I'll go now, you guys. I won't let y'all down. Hey, Pinky.
Good morning, Black Titanic.
Yes. How
Grand
did you like
Rising.
that? How did you like? It was kind of sad and it was
I,
sad.
yeah, it was sad, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the whole story and the entire book. You know, it's something I look forward to every Saturday morning. Great storyteller, you are. Great writer.
Did
And
you
good
know
morning,
about the
everybody.
Eagle tribe? Did you know about the Ibu tribe? How they?
Uh, no,
Okay,
only thing I know is from what you tell us and everything.
yeah,
But great learning. I'm learning a lot.
this was so fascinating. This tribe right here, they were got a lot of our ancestors out of West Africa. Now, my kids are Ibu America. My ex-husband said I'll never say it right, but I'm gonna say it the way I know how to say it. Ibu. They're Igbo America because my husband was from this tribe,
Mm.
and word went out with the colonizers, don't go back there. Don't you dare go back to that part and try to get those Ebus because they are too difficult to handle. They was on that boat. They were fighting on that boat, stirring up stuff. No, they were brave. And
They
I
fight back.
hope that, yeah, and that's some great history to pass to my
Yeah,
grandson who is an Ebu,
yeah.
and all my grandkids who are Ebu. Your ancestors from that side of the world fought. They rather die. They jumped overboard so that they would not be held prisoners.
They fight back.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. So yeah. And it's also here in Georgia, they do have a museum. Yes, they do.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. I
they
didn't
got a
know that.
museum right here in Georgia, you guys.
Hmm.
Anyway, we're gonna say goodbye, but I just wanted to bring you up. I'm coming on. I'm gonna get off so I could come on later.
Oh, okay. All
Yeah,
right.
I want to
We,
come on a little later, so I want to do this RP. We can't be letting this slide. We have to
no.
cover this, and we have to cover. I said I wasn't gonna cover Big Book, but she's not getting away with this.
No.
Everybody
There's
start,
no going down.
yeah, everybody start picking up on her back talking about her because she would want us to shut up right now. She really want us to shut up now, and no, we're not shutting up. You is a part of that RP, and we gonna keep you out there in the open.
Right. So she's in it. So we're gonna drag her and expose her. She want us to be quiet. Don't mention her name and sweep it
Mm.
under the rug. But no, we're not gonna do that because it's time for you to be with a mug shot and go to the jailhouse too.
Hey, talk to the audience. I want to put this little. It's like a little 50-some second
Okay.
thing
Happy.
that I forgot to put through here. You say whatever, but keep it alone in
Okay.
history,
I'll
any
be
kind
happy.
of history you want to talk about, slavery or something.
Okay, I'll be happy to. And let me just say, first of all, guys, thank you all for being here for the book club this morning. It was a fabulous morning hearing the story, continuation of it, and everything. And I do want to say good morning, Impetitious. Saturday morning to everybody. Also to Sun Kiss as well. Town Renice 723. And I think someone said Nosy Rosie was in the chat, but I didn't see you. But if you are, thank you for being here, Rosie Nosy. So that's why I said hello to you too. Also, Shirley Terry, thank you, thank you, thank you. And then we have, I hope I pronounced this right, the NA. Um, Mm, inspires. Thank you for being here. NALI. Thank you for being here this morning. I don't want to butcher your name. Okay. But thank you all for being here. And we just make sure you all let's keep supporting our fabulous, our boots on the ground, Black Titanic. And you know what? I did not this I learned something new from this book club about the what she say the her family's tribe, her husband and her
Oh
kids.
yeah. I
Kids.
mean, the evil tribe. Okay, I'm back. I
Okay.
couldn't find. I don't you hate it when you don't prepare something and then you don't have everything.
Right, but that's okay. That's okay.
Okay. Hey, so I don't know. That's gonna be up to y'all if y'all want to do it. This was just try out. It went very well.
It
So
went well.
I want to do the Thug's Passion. Y'all know we talk about Martell a lot,
Mm,
and I never thought I was gonna have to bring that book out back
mm.
out. But yeah,
That sounds interesting, Black Titanic.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna see if anybody want to start doing that.
Okay, I'm game for it. I'd be happy to.
All right. All right. I'm going to say goodbye, y'all, because I want to come on a little later. Y'all just keep looking up for the on the YouTube schedule. And so, because
Okay,
I got to put
I'll
some
be
stuff.
ready.
All right.
All right.
Thank
Thank
y'all.
you,
Thank
guys.
y'all, everybody, for the cash app, the super sticker. Thank you for the wonderful super sticker and all of my guests that came in today. And remember, don't forget your ancestors and shout out. I got to shout them out again, y'all. Shout out to the bravery of the Igbo tribe. This is my grandkids' ancestors, my grandkids' DNA. Yeah,
And
yeah.
you know what, Black Titanic, can I say this? I love the fact that they rather fight than just submit and just be captured and be sold as slaves
Mhm.
from
Prisoners, prisoners.
prisoners. Yes, you're right.
Mhm.
And never and then serving someone that they don't even know, people or uh, class of people that they never even known about. Um,
Mhm.
you don't come in. It's like someone coming into your town and just taking over and never, you coming from another country and you coming over just taking over. No, you can't do that. And I love the fact that they fight back. You
Mhm.
know, and that's something they pass on to their kids and their kids and stuff. Fight. Don't give
Yeah,
up.
and that's that spirit,
Yeah.
they so grandpa, my kid's grandfather, that's the tribe he's from. Yeah. All
Oh,
right, you guys. Bye. See y'all a little later.
okay. Bye bye. Y'all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you later too. Bye bye.
Thank you, Pinky.
You're welcome.